All right, welcome back, everyone, for another weekly session here at Symbol Alerts. I'm Mr. Trades. Hope you guys have a fantastic day and a great weekend so far. So we're gonna talk about what happened with the last week earnings. Um, Pretty much the big mega cap companies, Meta, Amazon, and Apple, uh, three main rollers of market movers. They really plumbed with their earnings. Um, Huge drop down to the really to retirement funds and a lot of 401ks. I think I've talked about retirement funds back in our uh, first videos on YouTube. It's just it's getting wiped out so easy, and a lot of people still cannot realize they can move their money and invest in some other areas in order to at least recoup their losses on the retirement funds, or being able to really manage them myself. Purely just all these fidelities, all these bigger funds, they're just hoping and holding for the big tech. Obviously the future is bright, but at this time when we seeing this big huge drop down on biggest companies like Amazon, and Apple, $1 trillion companies. When we see these huge negative earnings, we definitely have a second thought, make a different decisions for our upcoming future, at least for next year or so. That's why the beauty of day trading is just you're able to be liquid all the time and make sure that your money is always there for you. It's not going to be stuck in some random stocks, or you're waiting for that 10%, 20% return on your account for a really long time, but you're not getting there. You're not even beating the benchmark with your retirement. So these are the problems. This is a great article on Bloomberg. You guys can read it. I highly recommend to really read what's going on overall in the market. It doesn't necessarily mean that it really can um, affect the economy in that way, because economy has more indicators that more necessary to look at. But definitely this is one way to look at the stock market, how it's going to perform for the next quarter. And we are also expecting another Fed interest rate rise, and there are more unnecessary, or I guess unclear path ahead of us for at least the recession that we are in it. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into our trades. However, where it's very sad to see retirements are wiping out. A lot of people are struggling, but we're able to really day trade 200% runners, 100% runners, and take our profit and just enjoy with our cash on our hands. So this is the beauty of day trading. I always mention that. uh, be more of a day trader in your future than just um, long term, no unknowledgeable investor, who actually just put their money in some areas and don't have any ideas of how to manage it, how to really expect his return, or her return on their investments. So Yeah, Meta crazy. I'm just gonna kind of quickly give you guys a idea of what happened with the earning. Meta crazy 25% drop. They're still promising this metaverse. They went all in on this project. So a lot of investors hurting. Even the company is hurting itself. It's just not ideal to being to that situation. Obviously, there is a opportunity. You can always take advantage of these opportunity when the price goes down. Buy it for your future. If you're starting, if you want to learn how to invest, how to kind of like swing trade them at least. But you got to keep that in mind. We're not in a good market condition, so anything really can happen, especially with the current administration and everything. It's just super risky when it comes down to investing in the stock market for a long term. That's why stick to your stick to the day trading, and that way you at least know and learn more of other areas that you can make money from. So anyway, I'm just gonna go over our last week trades. We had MOTS. I think this was a only one that we had on Monday, I believe. Uh, One of those really manipulated stock like the other ones, obviously, but this was purely a pump and just fade out to the to the level that I was expecting. This thing really can at least be a good runner, but like I mentioned last week, do not expect the home run on all of these stocks, especially at this time. However, we had a good week last week. We had few 100%, 200% runners, a lot of home runners. Not necessarily a scalp, but you gotta adapt yourself to the market condition and see which strategy works for you and what type of plan that you want to put into it, or if you want to just scalp. I mean, I always mention you guys scalp, take your profit, because I know a lot of people really like the idea of holding for more, and that greed uh, is unnecessarily when it comes down to these patterns and these stocks. You just have to understand there are not enough edge to really look for that huge move and action, because less liquidity, less volume, and less action. So keep that in mind all the time. So yeah, MOTS was Monday runner. I believe this was a healthcare sector, and they just announced a positive clinical data on that day, Monday, and then the stock is just on a super low float, and then really overall the stock hold this range, uh, and I would expect that this is stock. I mean, it's pretty illiquid at the moment. Not a lot of trades going on. No volumes that I can really rely on to it. But I do expect this some action would happen in the probably by the next week, because they have obviously they have offering. So whenever the company has an offering, they tend to really pump the price higher, and make sure that they can reach to that uh, desired price they want to announce their offering. So I'll keep on watch for this one. Definitely in the back pocket, not necessarily in the main watch, but it's ideal to have it on the back watch. The next one on the Tuesday, which I took a day off on Tuesday, but the scanner was alerting, and we had a great a team. We had a great trade on TSHA. On Tuesday, I think there was a maximum price of $3. Natural resistance $3 on this one. Yeah, this is the huge squeeze on this one, and then obviously big fade out and short attack at the natural resistance $3. You should expect that every single time I mention when there is a natural resistance like two 225 250 $3 when there's a natural resistance always if you're in a position always take your profit if you're done with your plan, if you're already done, or take a partial profit and take something out because those natural resistance always tend to be a dropout, a drop down, or attempt from short to drop the price back down. So keep that in mind. When there's a natural resistance, you always have to be safe than sorry. And sometimes you see this, based on the range that we look at, like where the stock is started. I believe with the market open at 230 started, and then this close range, and then we're looking at 18%, and then pretty much the stock only went up to 38%. Well, if I'm not wrong, stock had this 100% runner, and then from the intraday 38% additional to make that 100%. So you should expect that when the stock is running on 100%, there's less edge to really go much that higher. So always take your profit. These are the stuff that I talk about deeply in the one-on-one session. If you want to know about it, just DM me. I'll hit you. I'll put you on the schedule, and then we go from there. Yeah, great one on TSHA, and then fade out. So I would expect some short cover down these range, because I don't think this can really go back down. I mean, obviously anything could happen. This can really go to the micros, and I will look for that cover for $2 range price. Just go back up. So have this on the watch, on the back pocket. So definitely look at it. And then APIX was this is a great runner on I believe it was Wednesday. Very solid. I mentioned this also in our daily recap. I personally traded this. They had this call from 215, and huge runner, 137% from the call. So these are the stock that you always think they're gonna really break out. They're gonna break out and then have this supernova action. Obviously this stock ran towards almost like 200%. Almost over 200% from pre-market. So it's from pre-market. Stock had this huge run up, and obviously a lot of short attempt, a lot of chatters around it. As I mentioned in the daily recap, people really talked about this to really because there wasn't any specific news. It was just purely a pump and short to squeeze, and just they wanted to get that squeezed up, get all the orders, and then another move, another action. So pretty much our shorts get wrecked on this one. It was too dangerous to really short that, because it was also on the ETB. It wasn't rewarding if you were shorting this at really every breakout, expecting this thing to really crack down. However, we had this before the power hour. There was this drop down, very small, rewarding for the shorts, but obviously great benefit for the longs on Wednesday. Especially us. I personally traded this, and then I was done with it after we hit our targets. uh, and that's it, nail and bail. After that, I wasn't really looking at it. I personally thought there will be more short attacks on this, but this thing is just holding that range, 370. Even from the call, it hasn't even reached to the call that we mentioned, 215. So I would expect this holds continues for the upcoming week, and possibly another run up like this, another short cover, and then hopefully a new new high of the day, if we are going to see that on our scanner. But great play on EPIX. These are the stuff that I love when I see that 100% runners again, and then comparing them with a lot of people that still stick to their traditional mindset in a way to invest in different just they went all in for getting like 14% return in their retirement. It's really sad to have that mindset. I'm not saying that that's a bad strategy, but it's definitely not ideal. There are more ways you can benefit from and make money. That's why I always say have some sort of a speculative portfolio, so you can take advantage of these actions and also make money on the side of your other main portfolio, IRA or whatever you have. So EPIX was great, and the next one I have on the watch list is AGFS. AGFS was AGFX was actually a really mid float, relatively good range. Hold this VWAP for at least 2 days right now, and then hit a new high on Friday. So I would think that there is some sort of insider actions going on. They also have an earning coming up, so I think their earnings are expected to be on November 9th, I believe, and they have some sort of they have a recent PR. Saudi LLC investigating whether the proposal of sale of AgroFresh solution is fair to shareholders. So some investigation also going on this. They do also have a shelf offering of 200 million. So not really hoping this stock holds for a longer I guess daily trades. But obviously, when they have a shelf offering, they do want to move the price higher, and they also have this bad news kind of investigation inside their company. So keep that in mind. It's always to be safe, and it's really a day tradable stock. So I would expect this to run up for another action, another leg up to at least maybe a $3, because that range makes more sense. It's another natural resistance. So I'm looking to see if this gonna really hit the scanner and run for the Monday. So yeah, have this on the watch and make sure trade it accordingly. AGFS, and then we had DUO. So this one was very slow grinder, sneaky one. It just hit the scanner, but it doesn't really have much of the volume that I'm expecting to really find the setups on this and be tradable. The stock is not tradable in a way to for at least for my type of setups. But obviously, a lot of people took advantage from the swing type of trade. This is more like a swing ideas. I mean, you can see all these cup and this pattern from, I think this is from, yeah, from 80 cents, and then had this 152 and then 184, and we're seeing this stock has already reached to the 218. So it's kind of going to that lower, making that lower high, and this out of these higher lows from, I think this is Thursday. It just cracked down the trend, the channel. So you guys have to expect this to consolidate at this area and then have another leg up. So it's possible if a fresh volume coming in. I don't see. I think they also have another. They have 300 million offering on file. So possibly they want to move the price and then announce that, but I'm not expecting this could happen sooner. So I'm having this on scan on our watch list. If it's gonna hit scanner, and then some buyers come and take advantage of this, or we will see some activities. But in my opinion, this is more like an insider action, and they want to just hit the scanner to attract day traders and traders come into the play, but they don't get that attention as they expected. So that's my thought on this one, and hopefully we see some action on this so we can take advantage of it. And then last one and least, QNGY was our Friday puppy. QNGY, great a great start on the Friday. When you're on the fast money Friday, I mentioned that fast money Friday. What I mean by fast money Friday is just really take a trade, take your money and go enjoy your weekend. That's a definition of fast money Friday. You don't have to sit down on Friday looking at all these charts and at this market condition with this paint dry charts. So it's very toxic to really sit down and try to make a trade, and you eventually gonna have a bad trade if you overtrade, and then next thing you know, you're just in this hole for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the entire weekend. So you can't really have that right mentality, or great mindset to be able to start again on Monday. So that's why I always say, don't really hold a position on the Friday. Take it easy on the Friday. But however, we see a lot of action and activity on Fridays, for at least a few weeks back, and in the past. But relatively, Fridays are tend to be very slow, very risky. You're not gonna see a lot of activity more in the afternoons, unless there's a huge market boom or some major catalyst going on. So QNGY was our great play on Friday. It was just a massive run up at the intraday, and then I did see a lot of short activities on this one. People wanted to do this thing to really crack down. Obviously, the pattern was there. They got a squeeze from $2, $1 range, and then to the 450, another natural resistance that you guys can see, and then consolidation, definitely a huge undecided territory. This is called no man's land territory. So you should not really trade when a stock is really up here and expected to find its direction. And you got to put into consideration that this is Friday. You're not really expecting this stock is already moved 100%. So you don't expect this to I believe this is 100%. It's actually 58%. So you don't really expect this to really go for another percent, but it's always good to be safe. And I saw these wicks coming through, a lot of orders that are coming through, then a lot of short attacks to the wicks and this definitely a sign to exit the position and don't get stuck into this huge I think, yeah, 21% all of a sudden, to 326. So this is how you should trade, how you should make sure your plans is safe, you're not getting stuck when the stock have these kind of selling pressure, and then halt down. So it's always to be safe, take your profit, and if you have some leftover and you got stock in this range, you're always safe with your average. You're not gonna give back so much. You're not gonna be sorry if why you didn't take your profit up here. So it's always good to take your profit or exit the entire position and then try to, I mean, if you want to trade again, reattempt, get this death cap. I mean, get this bounce of open halt, and then just trade it from there. So we had this huge drop down and then massive action again in the afternoon, after hour. But the stocks really tried to reach to the new high of the day, but it didn't happen. So I'm expecting this to play around this consolidation again on the Monday and Tuesday, if there's not going to be any new action or on a new stock. So this was the last one, and then we had GEO. We are swing trades. GEO still in our highest range. We're up 60. I believe it's like still in the same range. Last week I believe 67. Now it's like 60, 63 or 4 from the call. It's just there's nothing else that you can really fundamentally look at it. I would personally looking for more like institutional action on this, or a new press release that can really cause it. Overall, stock is just on the range. When it comes down to really swing trading, you gotta look back to you gotta look at like 30 minutes chart or 1 hour chart. It doesn't really make sense when you look at the 1 minute chart on these stocks, unless they're having so much activities or volume that are traded. So GEO great so far on the swing alerts. If you were comfortable to take your profit, by all means take your profit, and expect this thing to drop down a little bit more, and then if you want to trade again. But I'm expecting this to stay above these $8 range until 13Fs are coming out from institutional positions. See how that would plays out on GEO. And then great other swing that last week I mentioned, Snapchat, and hopefully you guys took advantage of this dead cat bounce from our call, 758. I was looking at this. I expected this to happen, and we shall receive it. Huge in 1 week. We got our $10. As I expected, the $10 range. It's also an area to make sure, or you're partial out, or even that $9 strength. Huge gap up towards that $9. It's just it was making sense that to catch this dead cat bounce, and a lot of buyers and a lot of people are averaging down. A lot of bag holders are averaging down, expecting this to have some mercy exit, and this is a great area to have their mercy exit and then another pullback. I'm expecting this to drop down again as the company doesn't perform in a long term, I guess long term picture. So you should always expect this to plays out differently if if the stock is not gonna break through the previous high. So my expectation is just this things can be a great area to take your profit. There's gonna be a lot of profit takers. However, if the market still grinding, SPY is going up, we should expect this to kind of hold this range and then maybe for another run, and then some other short activities and profit taking. Yeah, so that's about it. I'm gonna wrap it up here, team. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys listen to all the tips that I give you, and hope this was helpful. I always encourage you guys to study. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube, and make sure to sign up for our weekly watch list to receive all these details in your mailbox. And I also upload this to our members. Take care, team. If you guys have any questions, just reach out to us, support@simplealerts.com, or DM or support, or DM me. Make sure to really, I encourage you guys to book a session with me, and I will help you out if as much as I can to make sure you guys can level up in your trading world. Take care, team. Talk to you guys on Monday.